Most real estate agents don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they treat their career like a side hustle instead of a business. And here's the truth. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. Think about it. Every successful CEO operates from written plans, systems, and strategies. They don't wing it. They create roadmaps and then they build teams who can follow those roadmaps. Without that level of clarity, there's no way to scale. So if you've been showing up to real estate like it's a part-time gig, today I'm going to show you how to step into CEO mode. This is where consistency, leverage, and freedom live. Hi, I'm Kendall Bonner, and I've been in real estate for more than 15 years. From my very first year, I was able to create a six-figure business, and I've continued to do so every year since. Now, I'm a Florida licensed attorney turned real estate broker. I started out as a successful solo agent listing homes in the short sale market, which was one of the toughest real estate markets of our generation. I also built a real estate brokerage from scratch that I ran for almost 10 years before selling it. We grew that brokerage to multiple offices, over 50 agents, several employees, and about $200 million in volume a year. Now, most recently, I co-founded the Kendall Bonner team in Tampa, Florida with my husband, where we are in the business of changing lives by generating leads and helping real estate agents sell more houses. So, in today's video, we're going to cover the mindset shift that unlocks six-figure consistency, the practical systems that keep your business running even when you're not, and the successful habits that separate struggling agents from thriving entrepreneurs. And at the end, I'll give you a free real estate CEO checklist so you can implement this in your business immediately. But let me ask you a question. If tomorrow you handed your business over to someone else, could they run it without you? For most agents, the answer is no. Everything lives in their head, in scattered notebooks, or in the Notes app on their phone. And that's where that's dangerous. If your business only works when you're personally on, then you don't own a business. You own a very demanding job. But when you run your business like a business, you can build consistency, create leverage, and most importantly, unlock freedom. So what does it mean to think like a CEO in real estate? It starts with this principle. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. A CEO has budgets, strategies, and action plans. They don't just say, I'll try to generate leads this month. They define how many, from where, and how much budget they'll allocate. Then they put it in writing so they can follow it consistently. When I first started, I made the same mistake most agents make. I had ideas in my head, but nothing was documented. And the problem with that, I couldn't hand anything off. I remember hiring my first assistant, and instead of freeing me up, it actually created more work because I had no written systems to plug her into. The day I started putting things in writing, my marketing calendar, my transaction checklist, my client experience process was the day I started operating like a business owner. Suddenly, my assistant knew what to do without me hovering. That's leverage. Think of it like running a restaurant without recipes. If your chef leaves, the new one can't create the dish. But when it's written down, step by step, the restaurant can maintain quality no matter who's in the kitchen. That's what CEOs understand. Systems create freedom. Now, let's talk about the systems every real estate CEO needs in place. System number 1, lead generation and marketing strategies. Most agents fail at lead generation for one simple reason. They try to do too many things at once. They spread themselves thin, chasing every tactic they hear about. Cold calling, expireds, FSBOs, open houses, door knocking, networking events, and social media. The list goes on. The problem, each of those strategies requires different skills, different scripts, and different follow-up systems. So instead of mastering one or two lanes, agents end up burned out, frustrated, and with nothing to show for their effort. I had an agent who fell into this trap. She wanted to grow her business, so she did it all. Expireds, FSBOs, open houses, networking, even door knocking her neighborhood. After 90 days of hustling in 10 different directions, she had just a handful of leads and 0 closings. She was exhausted and ready to quit. Why? Because she wasn't documenting what she was doing, she wasn't tracking results, and she had no clarity around who to follow up with or what to say. The turning point came when she chose to focus on one strategy. Instead of going wide, she went deep. She tracked what she was doing, tested one approach against another, and built confidence through mastery. And that's when her business started to grow. Think of it like trying to plant 10 different crops in the same field with no irrigation system. Nothing thrives. But if you focus on one crop, water it, and nurture it, you actually harvest something. So here's the CEO move. Pick 2 to 3 lead generation strategies, maximum 5, but commit to them. Put them in writing, document the steps, track the results, and don't add a new strategy until you've mastered the ones you already have. CEO lead gen blueprint, here's what I recommend. Stop trying to do everything and instead double down on niches and modern strategies. Most agents rely only on their sphere of influence, friends, family, past clients, and that's fine. But let me ask you this. There are 2 groups of people out there, people you know and people you don't know. Which one is bigger? So which one should you be calling? The answer is both. So yes, nurture the people you already know, but if you want to scale, you've got to learn how to connect with people you don't know yet. And the smartest way to do that is by tapping into motivation. Motivations equal niches. These are the life events that trigger people to move. I call them data Ds, things like divorce, diapers, diplomas, death, job relocation, or desk. Each of these life changes creates urgency. And if you choose even 1 or 2 to specialize in, you'll never run out of clients. Beyond life events, there are other modern niches. Cash offers. Every day, sellers Google how to sell my house fast. If you position yourself as the agent who can connect them with real cash buyers, you'll capture motivated sellers and generate more listing appointments. Another competitive advantage is assumable mortgages. When dealing with higher interest rates, buyers are searching for homes that they can afford. By mastering this niche, you can show buyers how to get more house for less money, and sellers can gain a significant advantage in the marketplace and make their property stand out. These aren't gimmicks, they're modern solutions to real problems. And when you systematize them, they become reliable business building machines. So here's your CEO action item. Pick 2 to 3 strategies, like 1 sphere of influence lane and 1 or 2 niche strategies, and put them in writing. Build a plan, track the numbers, test one thing against the other. And remember, don't go wide, go deep. Mastery beats multitasking every single time. System number 2, CRM discipline. Most agents don't use the CRM at all. They try to run their business out of sticky notes, random spreadsheets, or worse, their memory. But here's the problem. Your memory is not a playbook. It's not a reliable business tool. Again, if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. And without a CRM, you're leaving money on the table every single day. A CRM is more than an address book. It's an action-oriented system that tells you who to call, when to follow up, and what to say. It can send emails and texts on your behalf while you're out in the field. It's the personal assistant that never forgets and never sleeps. Here's why it matters. In real estate, you meet today business and tomorrow business. Today business are the clients ready to move right now. Tomorrow business are the ones who need 3, 6, 12 months before they're ready. Without a CRM, those future deals vanish because you don't follow up consistently. Think about it. If someone says they're 6 months out, do you wait 5 months before calling them again? Of course not. You need a system that reminds you to touch base regularly, that keeps track of what you last discussed, and that helps you build the relationship over time. Consumers are ready when they're ready. The question is, will you still be top of mind when that day comes? It's like planting seeds in a garden. Some sprout immediately, others take months. If you don't water and care for them, they die. Your CRM is the irrigation system that ensures every seed gets the attention it needs until it's ready to grow. So here's the CEO action step. Don't just get a CRM, use it daily. Log every lead, schedule follow-ups, automate where you can. Make it the heartbeat of your business. System number 3, profitability. Most agents don't have a budget at all. They make money, then they spend money. And that's why even after a great year, so many agents feel broke. But CEOs, they spend, they save, and profit intentionally. They design their budgets with profit in mind, not just revenue. When our real estate business took off, we had a massive month. Over $150,000 in revenue with 6 figures of profit. But guess what happened next? Our team, we spent it. We tried new things, overspent on events and outings, and didn't set money aside for savings, taxes, or investments. That hard lesson taught us something crucial. Profit doesn't just happen, it's manufactured. We dove into books like Traction by Gino Wickman, where we implemented the EOS model, and Simple Numbers, Straight Talk, Big Profits, where we adopted a profit-first approach. And then everything changed. Now we know exactly how much profit we'll make each year because it's built into the plan by design. Now we predictably have 20% profit margin every year. And by the way, our profit isn't our salary. Our salaries are part of our fixed expenses. We pay ourselves like employees first, and then our profit is truly business profit. So here's the CEO truth. Create a budget and make a profit a line item. Fix your expenses, give yourself a fixed salary, set aside money for taxes, establish a profit goal, and engineer your business around it. So what are your non-discretionary expenses? These are expenses that are typically must-have to run your business. MLS dues, broker desk fees, transaction coordination fees, E&O insurance, CRM system, marketing essentials like website or signage, state and federal income taxes as applicable. And then there are discretionary expenses. These are choices that must be managed wisely. Lead buying platforms, paid ads, client appreciation parties and events, upgraded tools and software subscriptions, coaching and mastermind programs, travel and entertainment. Notice the difference. Non-discretionary expenses are the cost of doing business. You can't operate without them. Discretionary are tools and opportunities. They might help you grow, but they need to be tied back to your profitability plan. Think of it like personal finance. Your rent or mortgage is non-discretionary. You must pay it. But dinners out, vacations, discretionary. You can't confuse the two if you want a long-term financial health. So here's your CEO action step. Make 2 lists, discretionary versus non-discretionary. Then build your budget around profitability first. The goal isn't to spend less, it's to spend intentionally. System number 4, scripts for conversion and objection handling. Most agents make the mistake of winging it. They show up to appointments without preparation, hoping they'll know what to say. But here's the truth. Winging it costs you deals. CEOs know better. They understand that mastery of scripts creates confidence, consistency, and conversion. Think about it. Professional athletes don't practice during the game. They rehearse so much that when it's time to perform, execution feels natural. Scripts work the same way. Scripts aren't about sounding robotic. They're about sounding prepared. They give you the right words to guide clients through objections and tough decisions while still allowing your personality to shine through. I remember even back when I was practicing law, I had a script I used for every bankruptcy appointment. It wasn't just about efficiency. It was about ensuring that I covered everything my clients needed to know in order to make an informed decision. That script was a safety net for me as much as it was for the customer. And I always regretted it whenever I went off script and let a client pull me outside of my process, because the process works. It works for a reason. So don't skip your process. I can also tell you, the more I rehearsed my buyer and seller scripts, the more confident I became. And that confidence translated into higher conversions. I wasn't winging it. I was leading, and my clients could feel it. Now, there are proven script frameworks that every real estate CEO should master. First, LP Mama. This classic buyer consultation script helps you uncover critical details: location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage, appointment. When you run through this consistently, you know exactly where your buyer stands and how to serve them best. My other favorite is the 3A framework. This is a powerful objection handling tool. Acknowledge, associate, ask. You acknowledge the client's concern, associate by linking their concern to the behavior of successful clients, and then ask a clarifying or guiding question to move the conversation forward. This turns objections into opportunities instead of roadblocks. Check out my blog and cheat sheet if you want more help with that one. But I want you to know, it's like a musician playing a song. The first time, they're clunky and unsure, but after practicing over and over, the song flows effortlessly. Scripts are the same. You practice until it feels natural, and then you can play jazz with it, adding your own flair. So here's your CEO action step. Identify 3 to 5 scripts you need in your business right now. Your buyer consultation, listing consultation, pricing objection, commission objection, follow-up. Practice them daily until they're second nature, because when the pressure's on, practice creates performance. System number 5, consumer-facing value materials. Most agents walk into appointments with a generic CMA, an estimated net sheet, and the listing or buyer contract, and a smile. That's it. They hope their personality will carry them through. But here's the problem. Clients can't see your process or your value if you don't show it to them. A CEO-minded agent knows that professional marketing materials do two things. They build trust and authority instantly. They provide a consistent client experience so every buyer and seller knows exactly what to expect. I'll never forget sitting down with a seller years ago who said, "The other agent just told me what they would do, but you showed me." That's the power of having consumer-facing value materials. It's the difference between sounding like every other agent and standing out as a professional they can trust. Now, here are examples of materials every series agent should have. Testimonials and reviews. Social proof behind builds instant trust. Listing marketing plan, which is a step-by-step of how you'll market their home. A buyer guide. Help buyers understand the process and set expectations. Staging tips and prep for listing photos. Show sellers how to present their home for success. Recommend local vendors. Have a go-to list for repairs, cleaning, moving. A why you versus the competition. Clearly articulate your unique value. A home criteria sheet helps buyers define their needs and wants. Buyer and seller checklist. These are simple, actionable steps to keep them on track. An estimated cost. Transparency creates trust. Next steps, a one-pager eliminates confusion and consultations. Pre-approval guide, why it matters, how to get it. Showing etiquette, what buyers should or shouldn't do during showings. Inspections, educate clients on critical steps. Pack like a pro, moving checklist, reduce the stress and add value. And then a roadmap to getting your home sold, a visual timeline of the process, and how to prep for showings, helping sellers know what to expect. And here's the key. These materials should be both professionally printed and digitized. That way you can hand them out in person and email them before or after appointments. Think about it. Would you hire a contractor who shows up with no blueprint, no references, and no plan? Of course not. Yet many agents do the equivalent every day. CEOs know that presentation matters. Your CEO action step is this. Audit your toolkit. Do you have professional branded consumer-facing materials? If not, start with a listing marketing plan, a buyer guide, and testimonials. Then build from there until your toolkit becomes a client experience system. System 6, transaction checklist and workflows. Most agents reinvent the wheel every transaction. They keep everything in their head, scrambling to remember what comes next. And as a result, no two clients get the same experience. That lack of consistency is the number one reason deals feel chaotic and why referrals slip away. CEOs think differently. They know that clarity and consistency create confidence, and the only way to guarantee that is through documented checklists and workflows. So here are 3 essential workflows every serious agent needs. Number 1, pre-contract. For sellers, the pre-contract workflow covers everything that happens after the listing agreement is signed, but before the home goes under contract. This includes staging the property, scheduling professional photography, preparing the marketing plan, setting up open houses. Too often, agents handle these items ad hoc, which leads to delays and inconsistent quality. A documented pre-contract workflow ensures every listing is launched smoothly and with maximum impact. For buyers, the pre-contract workflow focuses on the search phase before writing and winning offers. This means helping clients define their home search criteria, scheduling property tours, preparing financing, and reviewing offer strategies in advance. Without a clear plan, buyers feel uncertain and agents miss opportunities to build confidence. With a written workflow, both the agent and the buyer know exactly what comes next. This pre-contract stage is critical because it sets the tone for the entire relationship. When you follow a clear documented process, your clients feel informed and confident, and nothing slips through the cracks. Number 2, contract to close. Once a property is under contract, whether for buyers or sellers, the workflow shifts to managing all the moving parts between the contract acceptance and the closing day. This includes keeping track of deadlines, scheduling inspections and appraisals, coordinating with title companies, maintaining communication with lenders, and managing contingencies. Without a checklist, it's easy for agents to miss key dates, overlook important steps, which leads to stress and potential deal fallout. CEOs don't rely on memory for something this important. They use a written, repeatable checklist to make sure every client gets the same high-quality treatment every single time. In fact, this is one area where hiring help is super effective. Hiring a transaction coordinator could be the smartest move you make all year. These are flexible hires as well. You can hire one on a per contract basis to get started so you don't have to pay if you don't close a deal. For us, we have a full-time TC on staff. I would not run a real estate business without one. So number 3, the post-close process. Most agents skip the post-close process entirely, and that's a huge mistake. The truth is, where This is where lifetime client value is created. A documented workflow or documented follow-up system ensures you stay in touch with past clients long after closing. This can include thank you gifts, quarterly check-ins, home anniversary touches, sharing valuable homeowner resources. Pro tip, stop calling them past clients and start calling them future home buyers, because when you implement a consistent post-close process, you turn one closing into years of repeat and referral business. It's not about chasing new leads all the time. It's about nurturing the relationships you've already earned. CEOs understand that the transaction doesn't end at the closing table. It's just the beginning of a long-term client relationship. Now, I've seen so many agents burn out because they're trying to remember every step of every transaction. The minute I documented my workflows, everything changed. My team knew what to do, clients got a consistent experience, and I suddenly had the bandwidth to grow instead of constantly firefighting. Think of it like flying an airplane. Pilots don't rely on memory. They use checklists for pre-flight, in-flight, and landing. Why? Because the stakes are too high to forget a step. Your client's largest financial investment deserves the same level of professionalism. So here's your CEO action step. Document your 3 workflows: pre-contract, contract to close, and post-close. Put them in writing. Use them for every client and refine them over time. Consistency builds trust, and trust builds referrals. And system number 7, lifelong learning. Always be a student. Most agents fall into the trap of consuming endless information without ever applying it. They attend webinars, listen to podcasts, read books, but it all stays theoretical. Learning for entertainment is not the same as learning for transformation. A CEO-minded agent approaches learning differently. The principle is simple. Go deep, not wide. Learn one thing, apply it, master it, then move on to the next skill to improve. For me, a breakthrough came when I read the book, The AI-Driven Leader, Harnessing AI to Make Faster, Smarter Decisions. I didn't just skim it and move on to the next book. I took notes, I practiced what it taught me, and I applied it to my business. The result? I turned my use of AI into a true strategic partner. Suddenly, I was able to get more done, faster and at a higher quality. That kind of impact only happens when you take one idea and run with it until it becomes part of your operating system. It's like learning to play the piano. If you try to practice 10 different songs at once, you'll never master any of them. But if you focus on one piece, day after day, you eventually play it beautifully. And the skills transfer to everything else. So here's your CEO action step. Curate a short list of high-impact resources, maybe 3 to 5 books, courses, or mentors. Choose one, extract the key insights, and implement them fully before moving on to the next one. Write down what you're learning. Build it into your systems, because knowledge alone doesn't create growth. Applied knowledge does. So let's bring this all together. If you want to run your business like a business and not just a side hustle, you need to step into CEO mode. That means putting everything in writing so it can be tracked, repeated, and leveraged. We walk through 7 systems every real estate CEO must master. Lead generation and marketing. Don't chase everything. Focus on 2 to 3 strategies, go deep, track results, master niches. Number 2, CRM discipline. Your memory isn't a system. Use the CRM daily to nurture today business and tomorrow business. Number 3, profitability first. Profit doesn't just happen, it's manufactured. Spend and invest money into your business intentionally and design your budget around profit. Scripts and conversion. Don't wing it. Mastery of scripts creates confidence, consistency, and conversion. Consumer-facing materials. Don't just tell clients, show them. Professional guides and checklists build authority and trust. Transaction workflows. Stop reinventing the wheel. Document your pre-contract, contract to close, and post-close process so every client gets a consistent experience. And then lifelong learning. Don't just consume. Go deep. Apply one thing at a time and turn knowledge into transformation. These aren't random tips. Together, they form a complete operating system for your real estate business. When you implement them, you move from being just an agent to becoming an entrepreneur and a CEO. And that's where 6-figure consistency, leverage, and freedom begin. Now, let me ask you, are you running your real estate career like a business or just like a job you happen to own? In fact, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these tips, which one are you going to implement first? Or which one is the one you really need to work on? Let me know in the comments. Help me help you build a smart business. If you're ready to step into CEO mode, I've created a free CEO checklist to help you. It breaks down these 7 systems into clear, actionable steps that you can start implementing today. So download it now using the link below and use it to build your roadmap to build a business that not only supports your goals, but also gives you the freedom and consistency you've been looking for. And if you found this helpful, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video where we'll go even deeper into strategies to scale your business. Thank you so much. Remember, profit, freedom, and growth don't just happen. They're built one system at a time.